Someone else says faulty tap, which is resulting in leakage.
Okay, yeah, these are all great problem statements. So we might say,
There's an interesting one here.
okay, which of
Um,
them is very interesting? Let's see.
from Kende, he says a leaking tap at the bedroom. The leakage began on the 21st of July. 5 liters of water do leak every day.
Wow, great, great. I like that. I
We
also
know
like
that.
the yeah. So I would ask him how he knows that actually. But this is really great conversation coming out from here. Let me see. A leaking tap at the bathroom at the leakage began. Okay, great, great. Okay. Okay. Now, let me just go into. So we might say the handle is not tight, right? Some people will say someone said leaking tap, someone said bad valve, right? Someone said water wastage, right? Joseph Jacob, mentioned the water is leaking at 5 minutes, every 5 minutes interval, 2 drops. That's so we're getting better, right? So a better problem statement to be said, drops of liquid are coming out of the faucet at the rate of 122 drip per second. A better one would say, like as Kehinde Olabode said, began on the 21st of July, 5 liters of water is, so that's your measuring. It's a problem statement. So we now know when, with even Kehinde's statement is more robust because it's telling us when did it start, how many leaks, that kind of stuff. This one is also saying it drips at 122 drips per minute, so it's been
Exactly.
measured, right? So which takes us to the next thing, goal statement, goal setting, which is a problem statement tool. Okay, so if you look here, the goal statement should be specific. Let me see, aligning what, um, hold on a second. I'm hearing some background noise. Let me see who needs to mute.
Don't worry, you can go on. I'll check that and
Okay,
I'll mute the person.
all right, okay, all right. So we have a goal statement. It's a very important part of the define stage. It must be completed before we move to the other part of the stage, right, which is the measure phase. Now, a proper goal should be carefully thought out and expressed. Yes, leaking tap, but let's think through. You understand? Where is it leaking, right? How is it leaking? Who is experiencing this leakage? When did the leakage start from? So it also begs one of the two that's called 6W, 2H. Again, 6W would be asking all the W questions. Some call it 5W, 2H, but you're asking all the W questions except why. But if you say bad valve, right? That's actually you're jumping to the root cause. It may not be right because it may not be the valve. Water can leak at different place, right? So for water to leak, it could be coming from the top. It could not be the valve. Um it could even be that it wasn't properly closed, right? It could be a root. So, but assuming that is the valve would lead us to solving giving a wrong solution or solving the symptom and not the root cause, right? So again, um, we need to carefully think it out and express it using those W questions, right? That's every green belter, every black belter, every continuous improvement process should have what we call like an unyielding, unyielding passion for getting to the root cause, for questioning this intellectual curiosity that unsatiable. Like you want to know, you want to ask, you want to know everything, right? Before you just, state it out. So a goal should provide the criteria to evaluate the success of the project in terms of time, cost, and resources. It should be reviewed by the core team, which must reach consensus before moving to the next phase of the project. A poorly written goal would be our goal is to reduce complaint by 50%. But a good goal would be within the next 6 months, our goal is to reduce customer complaints due to invoicing errors by 25% in order to meet customer satisfaction goals, right? So we've talked about problem statements in terms of defining the problem. Then in goal setting, we need to link what the problem is to what we want to achieve, right? A goal should be smart, specific, state what we'll do. We need to use action words. You understand? Our goal is to reduce. It's an action word. We want to do this. You know, um, it should be measurable, right? By 25%, right? It should be achievable. because within the next 6 months, it should be relevant. It makes sense within our organization because we want to do it to meet our customer satisfaction goal, right? It should be time bound, and time bound means this is when we want to do it, right? So your goal should have elements of the smart so that it becomes a well crafted, goal. The next one we'll talk about would be just to test our knowledge, right? So we're going to look at a couple of scenarios, then we will use a SMART criteria to identify which elements, if any, are missing from the goal statement. So test of knowledge this time, right? Using the SMART criteria, identify which elements, if any, are missing from the goal statement. So for instance, this first one, reduce credit card resolution by 75% in 2 weeks. Why, what from SMART, what do you think is missing here? SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. What do you think is wrong with goal statement number one? We can use the chat box or we can unmute ourselves and mention. What do you think? Reduce credit card resolution time by 75% in 2 weeks. Is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is it relevant? Is it time bound? Anyone?
I have omitted myself.
Okay.
I will be more into the measurable parts. Why? Because I know the percentage I want to reduce by, but I don't know from where I'm coming from. So the measure is a little bit unclear. If you at the end of it. Yeah. So that's it.
Okay, that's a good one. Any other person? Okay, yeah. So someone said it's not realistic, and I
Relevant.
think yeah, Martin Sokon says it's not realistic. Is someone else saying something
Relevance.
relevant? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So
someone
okay,
else supports Louis that is not
suppose that.
measurable.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Number two, improve the meeting room scheduling process. What do you think is wrong with that? Improve the meeting room scheduling process. Time
Not time.
bound. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Measurable. Not
It is not
measurable.
measurable.
Not measurable, yes, from when to when, not relevant. Great. Reduce failed installs by 30%. Number three, what do we think is lacking there, is missing?
Not time bound.
Not time bound, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Number four, improve profitability. So that's our goal. Want to improve profitability. Want our company to be profitable.
Not
What's missing there?
measurable.
It's not
Yeah.
measurable. It's not time bound.
Great, great. It's not specific as well, right? Again, profitability from when to when, is not attainable because we don't have enough info. So reduce late and early appliance delivery within 6 months of the project kickoff stage. Kickoff date. What's missing in number five? A lot, right? So you want to reduce something by what? Okay, yeah, we don't know. So the last one, decrease cost by end of year. Not specific, right?
Not
Yeah.
specific. It's not measurable.
Exactly. Great, great. We're really following with everything. So these are the answers, right? So you want to reduce credit card resolution time by 75% in 2 weeks. That's not attainable. You're just you can as well go boil the ocean, right? Because what metric is driving that? What it's not attainable from the way the goal was put in. But if you wanna make it more specific, you can actually be drilled down to what aspect of credit card resolution, right, is actually driving this, and then you go to that. You don't just like want to improve efficiency, but you want to improve efficiency on where, if it's a manufacturing process, what line, what from what to what, and what part of the efficiency do you want to improve, right? In terms of, could it be a minor stop that affect the bottling cap or something, right? You need to be very more specific in that. Improve the meeting room scheduling process, not relevant. Reduce failed installs by 30%, it's not time bound. Improve profitability, not specific, not time bound. You don't know if it's attainable because we don't have enough info. Reduce late and early appliance delivery within 6 months, not measurable. By what percent? Decrease cost by end of year, not specific. So, having well crafted goals that are smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound it's really critical to the success of any project, because until you can properly state a goal setting, until you can properly state your problem statement, link it to a goal, that's when you truly understand. Now I would want to now show us just an example of a I'll just put an example of something. Example, let me look for an example of a project charter, because the output of all this process is to have a well-defined project charter, right? And that project charter is very critical for us to go to our sponsor to say this is the project we want to drive, and this is the result that it's going to deliver. All right, let me share this with us. This is an example of a project charter, right? Just to show us that it has all the requirements, right? So again, in different companies, it could be different, right? But your project charter, remember we talked that it should have a problem statement, right? So look at this problem statement. It takes an extra 20 minutes on average across all shifts to run at rate after a pack size changeover on line 5, evident by overflow and constant stop, costing $240 per hour in labor cost per changeover, right? Again, and our goal statement, right? We aim to reduce the changeover adjustment downtime by 60% to realize $24,624 per year. Very specific, very measurable, very time bound, very relevant. It's a smart goal. Smart problem statement, a well-defined problem statement, and a smart goal, which is your value proposition in this case. Now, the metrics that are being looked at is what? The adjustment time after changeover, the baseline 20 minutes, you want to go to 8, a 60% improvement, increase morale from the operator, because if they don't have to do much, then if they don't have to go adjusting and adjusting after a changeover, then it's very much easy. It's very much easy for them, right? And the morale improves. So it's put there. So this kind of shows just what you want to do, the team members and your deliverables, right? 60% reduction in this time, standardized changeover process, updated changeover documents. Excuse me, hold on. Updated changeover, and also a process, right? It also states the time the meeting should be had, the sponsor meeting, and that kind of thing. So it really helps to have a very clear problem statement. Now, in summary, right, the purpose of the defined phase is to hold on. The problem of the purpose of the defined phase is to establish the Six Sigma specific project scope and boundaries, define the specific business problem. We want to know what business problem we want to achieve, right? Describe the process needing improvements. We state the goals to be achieved. These goals are largely accomplished through writing the project charter, which I've talked about. It's a critical output to the defined phase. The charter contains the problem statement, all the team members responsible, and the scope of the project. And as we complete the defined phase, we use tools such as Pareto charts, top-level process mapping, CPOC, the in-scope and out-of-scope tool. Additionally, we will determine the primary and consequential metrics, learn how to correctly define the problem statement, and we'll create goals using smart elements. I think that's about what we have to discuss this week on defined phase. So we're going to open it up to questions, and then I'll pass the ball um, to Dominic, so he can coordinate the question and answer session.
Okay, thank you very much, Chinedu. I think we've been able to do justice. So important for me was that the aim of defined phase is being able to submit a project charter, because you need to be able to go to the sponsor and say, this is what we want to do, and this is how we want to do it. This is the problem that we have seen. This is what we spotted as the problem, and this is our plan our plan to solving it. So if there are questions, I know I missed one question then, Chinedu. Someone was asking that how does it go from being a green belt to a sponsor? Do I have the answer? But it's, if you would
How do
want
you
to
go
talk
from being a green belt to a sponsor, right?
sponsor,
Like
yeah.
green belt is like an earlier stage, right? So from being a green belt, the next big thing for for a green belt is to go to deliver value. Once you deliver value and the business sees that you're delivering value, I don't even think you need necessarily to be a black belt before you become, a leader. So, but typically the project sponsor is like the plant manager. It could also be a production manager. So it's just like asking, how can I go from being a continuous improvement specialist to a production manager? It's by delivering value. Once you're able to deliver value, that are results that are felt. The value could be in money, in improvement. Again, you need to justify everything to bottom line. If you make any savings that does not affect the cost of the product, right? It's not a savings. If you make any improvement that doesn't make the product better, it doesn't make the product less costly, or it doesn't make the process more efficient, then it's not a saving, right? So if you make such improvements, you're gonna show your value. And when you show your value, the business would in turn reward you with bigger opportunity. It could be going from a quality specialist, a quality technician, to even a supervisor. From a supervisor, it could even be, like I know in some organizations, especially forward-looking organizations, they don't look at going from step one to step two. You could actually skip step, but again, it needs to be the value that you bring, right? I remember back then, I had people who worked in a bank, right? People got promoted from in a bank from being just like a front desk or a clerk and everything, to becoming even a manager. How? What value do you bring? Then if they were able to bring deposits, which is one of the key metrics for a bank, right? Then you get the promotion. So if you're able to deliver on those metrics that your company wants to hear, and what are those metrics, right? You need to know what are the primary metrics that your company that your company uses. Once you're able to deliver on those metrics, then the sky is your springboard. I don't know if that answers that question.
Yeah, so I think it's basically that you can be a green belt and still uh, carry out a good project.
Yeah.
So the reason why most times we have all of these layers is for leading. So a sponsor is basically the person who the business owner. So most times is the leader there. So is being a sponsor. It's just like going out of the action. You would not have to do most of the analysis and all of that. So it's a different case. Being green belt, black belt. So black belt is like a mentor to teams. He leads the teams. So he's the one who handles or manages the project functions. But for green and yellow belt and below, you are into the action. So you are the one preparing most of the documentations and 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 all of that. So you bring value. So project execution is done by you. The team structuring is also done by you. So you can also, so it's interesting that when you undergo a training for a green belt, and you want to do a training for a black belt, you find out that it's not the same thing that I learned. So we are all most times faced with that challenge. So it doesn't matter. You're not growing anywhere. So green, black, just understand the concept, put in that improvement, use that improvement in your business, grow it. And I think that's the most important thing. How do you improve the business? Look at the waste, like we talked about Muda. Look at the 8 waste that you have in your business. How do you want to eliminate them? How do you want to minimize them? Logistics, waiting times for those in service area, production errors, defects. How do you want to reduce or eliminate them? So these are ways in which you apply Six Sigma. Okay, so I don't know if there are any other questions. Okay, sorry, you can't. Okay, I think I thought that was a question. I think those were the only two questions I didn't answer at the initial stage.
We're taking time to do justice to this topic today. However, in the field already, I see a lot of misrepresentation between Six Sigma and problem solving. So, for instance, I mean, it must be a very good case established with data which we have agreed and aligned that it is the bedrock of. We have this data to show that there is a lot of waste with this process. We need to get it out. Okay. So, but over time, you see people struggling with basic problem, and they are looking at giving a complex solution, which I look at Six Sigma to be into the simple problems. Just like the example we gave during our training, and somebody wants to go and check, how many times the tap, dropped, by how many. Just fix it, So that's my thoughts, that if there are simple problems, we just need to fix. There are very simple tools to use to fix it. But when there are issues that are impacting the business process, then we need to now have a structured approach, which I think Six Sigma.
Yeah, thanks for that observation, Louis. So yes, if there's a problem, of course, and it's simple enough, you can use a wrench and fix it, right? You don't need to start analyzing and over-analyzing. That's where you go into analysis paralysis. However, that assumption of the TAP, right, was used to explain, how to get a clear problem statement, right? Because it could be a TAP today, tomorrow it could be a process that is failing, maybe lost sales due to different factors that are extraneous, right? So, but if you don't know, if you want to solve a problem with lost sales, right? How do you start? You need to know, where am I losing the sales, right? In terms of what product, let's say it's a manufacturing company and you have product, or even a service company, what product lines do you have? What SKUs are you losing the sales on, right? Because it could be a vague, if someone says lost sales, again, there could be some that you're making profit on, there could be some that you're losing on. So having that clear Pareto to understand where the problem is coming from would give you insights into that. But to your point, if there's a problem that is an easy quick fix, we don't need to spend time, because time is money, analyzing and over-analyzing, right? You fix the problem. But the TAP analogy is just to give us an insight into the type of analysis that will help you to go into solving those problems. Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah.
Clear. Thanks.
Sorry, I went off. I think someone was calling my phone.
So okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Any other questions? Did
all right.
anybody come up?
If there is no other question, let's see, any other question on the chat, or anybody wants to. Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, Martin said thanks for the opportunity to attend and learn from the session. Kende say many thanks to the facilitators for value-adding training. Yeah, I also want to thank you all. Yeah, before I hand over to Dominic to just explain the 8 waste, just in case I may need to jump off. I want to thank everyone. Feel free to follow me on on my on LinkedIn. My name is Chinedu Nwoke. I really am happy to connect with a lot of us and all. And if there are ways where I can help out in advising or answering any questions, I'm open to put some time into ensuring all of us succeed. Because if we succeed as a team, if we succeed as a country and all, everybody succeeds, right? It creates a lot of vibe around Nigerians. So let's keep living the dream. Let's keep doing our best in our respective phases of work, and ensure that we have that relentless focus. Relentless. Continuous improvement. People are relentless, because you're going to get a lot of spanner in the wheel. You're going to get a lot of pushback from different people, from production, this is how we've been doing it. From operators, this is the way we've been doing it. This is how it has always been. We need to have that relentless focus to show them the data, to explain things to them, to see that this is where we are going. This is the improvement we are willing to achieve. And when you keep doing that in your organization, you give value, you're going to be recognized, and you're going to grow from, whatever we are now, whatever position we are, to position that want to be in future. So thank you everyone for giving me the opportunity to explain this to us. I look forward to also meeting us in the nearest future as well. Thank you. Have a good rest of your session.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chinedu. Like, I must confess, you did justice to the work. Thank everybody for joining. I just shared this 8 ways just to explain to us, um, just to show us areas where we apply Six Sigma, not to explain anything though. But thank everybody for joining. If we have questions, you can send it to the email. I would share it with people who can answer. If I can answer, I'll answer some. You can always chat Chinedu up on LinkedIn and ask him questions directly. Chat me up on LinkedIn, ask questions directly. We are ready to solve. I think the more we solve the problems as a team, the more we understand the concept better. Continuous improvement is what we should be doing in our everyday life. And yes, our focus should be on big. Yeah, I like as Louis put it, big challenges, not the small ones. Yes, like that's why I put the 8 ways. So it should be focused on downtime, like this defects, overproduction, like an area that when you are done and you present your project, like I think maybe the minimum would be a promotion. Or you would have, because when you save the business like 80%, 60%, or $1 million, it's not small, but yes, it shows great value. So thank you once again for thanks to everyone. I see lots of people. Yeah, same people joining over again. Thank you, Adaku, Henry. I saw Julius earlier. That is dodging. Julius will take one session whether I liked it or not. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you, Osarisin, for joining. Thank you, Louis, Tolu. Thank you, guys. So we'll see when in the next section. I will share the slides after this training. So since we're not able to complete the find phase totally, like all of those tools, but so I expect that we'll read up because maybe the next phase might be the analyze phase where you'd have to be practical. I expect that by that time we have our Minitab tool ready and all of that. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for joining. Have a great day. Thanks, Chiredu. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Hello,
Louis.
please don't end there. Hello.
Okay,
Can you
yeah,
hear
hello.
me?
Yes, we can hear you at DBT.
Okay, Dominic. Please, when are we getting the slides?
I would share after this section now. I would liaise with Chinedu also so that I can.
Okay.
Yeah, I will share. You're on the email list. Yes, of course, you're on the email
Yeah.
list. I know. Okay, yeah. So I will share it to everybody
Okay,
on my
thank you.
email list. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yes,